Hey, Dr. Josh Axe here, Doctor of Natural Medicine and founder of draxe.com. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to overcome chronic fatigue syndrome using essential oils, and also mention some of the top nutritional deficiencies, vitamins and minerals that you need to really support your adrenals to help you overcome chronic fatigue syndrome. Now, there are millions and millions of people across the globe that are struggling with chronic fatigue syndrome, and there are lots of causes of this. Now, one can be emotional stress. In addition to that, it could be lack of sleep, it could be nutritional deficiencies, and also a few other things can sort of kickstart and be the root cause of chronic fatigue syndrome. It could be certain viruses. Celiac disease, in fact, did you know that if you have celiac disease or poor digestion, you may not be able to absorb certain vitamins and minerals, and that can be causing chronic fatigue syndrome. Food sensitivities, hormone imbalance, poor immune function, and of course, as I've mentioned, nutritional deficiencies. These are at the root cause of chronic fatigue syndrome. And I can tell you, I've had my own family members, in fact, my own mom growing up had chronic fatigue syndrome. And if you have any one of these symptoms, it could be a warning sign that that's what you're suffering with. So one of the big ones here is migrating joint pain. If you notice that your joints are aching on a regular basis, that could be a warning sign. Muscle pain, poor concentration, memory problems, headaches, inflammatory bowel disease like IBS, night sweats, mood swings, and of course, the biggest thing would be fatigue on a regular basis. If you're one of those people that have ever got even a good night's sleep and you wake up the next day and you are still tired, that could be a warning sign. Another warning sign could be bags or dark circles under your eyes. That's related to kidney and adrenal issues, which is another warning sign of chronic fatigue syndrome. So let's dive right in, and I'm going to talk about the best essential oils and nutrients to help you overcome adrenal fatigue syndromes. Now, number one here, holy basil essential oil. Now, holy basil was a prized herb and oil used within Ayurveda or Ayurvedic medicine, and it was known as an adaptogen. Now, adaptogens are called adaptogens because they help your body better sort of adapt to deal with all the stressors that we have on a regular basis, whether that be stress from traffic jams, the stress that we have from different relationships in life. We live in a society today that's this high sympathetic response. It's a lot of stress on a regular basis. And fight or flight was, think about our ancestors when they were flying or running from a bear or putting up a fight. What happens is your body sort of puts all of your energy outside of itself from your organs to your brain and your extremities in order to fight off what you're dealing with. Well, because of all the stressors we have today, a lot of us have poor digestive function. We have issues where our adrenals get worn out. And think about this, if you've ever ran a 5K, you can't digest a cheeseburger when you're working out, right? That's because your energy leaves your digestive system and it's going to your extremities. That's where you're using your energy. So a lot of us live in this sympathetic state because of it. We don't digest well. It causes our hormones to be produced in the wrong amounts. It causes regular hormone imbalance from low melatonin levels, so you're not sleeping well. All that being said, holy basil is the ultimate essential oil to really help lower cortisol levels, reduce stress, helping you heal from chronic fatigue syndrome. So holy basil oil, you can see here in clinical studies, it improves energy, it reduces emotional stress. It's been used as a natural remedy for thousands of years for treating anxiety, depression, and headaches. The best way to use this oil is topically. I like mixing it with a little bit of a carrier oil, so about 5 drops of holy basil oil to 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, rubbing that on your neck and the bottoms of your feet, some of the best places to use holy basil. And by the way, this is also just a great smelling oil. Not only can you use it topically, but you can be diffusing it as well with a diffuser in the air. It's a great essential oil to use on a regular basis. Next oil here is Roman chamomile. Now, if you, in addition to having chronic fatigue syndrome, you also have trouble sleeping at night. It takes you a while to fall asleep, or you wake up and you're still tired the next day. It's just not quality, deep, restful sleep. Roman chamomile is the ultimate essential oil. It's been shown in clinical studies to reduce anxiety and depression and also support healthy production of melatonin, that hormone you need. And actually, melatonin and cortisol fluctuate throughout the day. Cortisol should be high in the morning, low at night. Melatonin should be low in the morning and really high at night, allowing you to get a restful sleep. Roman chamomile can help with that. It also may even ease conditions such as leaky gut syndrome there as well. You typically want to do about 2 to 4 drops daily. You can rub that on your abdomen, typically at night. Rub them on your abdomen, rub it on your neck. And sometimes I'll just recommend my patients take a single drop and then rub it sort of at the base of their nose. They call it aromatherapy because the compounds in essential oils are so small, you can inhale them, and they actually can pass through the blood-brain barrier, affecting the brain directly, allowing you to get almost an immediate response in overall stress relief, balancing cortisol, and supporting those melatonin levels. Another oil healer is lavender. Now, here's the unique thing about lavender. It is the #1 essential oil used in North America today. And lavender oil has thousands of clinical studies proving its efficacy and its benefits. It's been shown to naturally lower blood pressure. It's been shown to help balance blood sugar levels, but also it's been shown to help fight post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression. And it's a great essential oil for lowering anxiety levels, which really can help with chronic fatigue syndrome. Again, if you are sort of amped up and going still at night, if you still have a lot of emotional stress during the day, lavender oil is known as the anti-stress essential oil. Lowers those stress levels, allows you to rest better, a great oil for chronic fatigue, and again, probably one of the most used, if not the most essential oil used across the globe today. The way I recommend using this oil is doing a few drops on your temple area, right here on your forehead, and also doing a healing bath at night. Now, here's a recipe or a remedy I've had thousands of patients do over the years. Take 1 cup of Epsom salts. Now, Epsom salts contain large amounts of magnesium, known as the relaxation mineral, whereas lavender is known as the relaxation oil. 1 cup of Epsom salts, 20 drops of lavender essential oil, and soak in a bath for about 20 minutes 3 times a week, or more if you can, and that really can sort of help prepare your body for a restful night's sleep, helping you get ready to overcome chronic fatigue syndrome. Now, another unique oil here is YLANG. Now, YLANG is known as the oil of joy. It really helps, especially if you're down in the dumps, blue, you've got some clinical depression. YLANG really helps improve your overall mood, and this oil acts directly on the olfactory system and directly affects the brain. Also, it relaxes the mind, increases circulation, releases negative emotions, and may lessen frustration, anger, and depression. You typically want to combine about 3 to 5 drops with a carrier oil. Rub it on your temples and your neck area as well. I want to mention with these oils in terms of safety, this oil in particular, if you tend to get nausea or headaches when you're exposed to perfumes, you may be sensitive to this oil. Now, again, 95% of people, maybe even 99, have no sensitivity. But if you're a person where if you smell someone's perfume and you get reactions to a lot of things, you may just want to test a small amount of this oil. Just open a bottle, take a small, a small whiff, a small smell. And if you have any type of reaction, stay away from that oil. Use another oil instead. Now, rosemary essential oil. Rosemary, this is sort of one of those unsung heroes of the essential oil world when it comes to its plethora of benefits. It is so beneficial for so many conditions. You know, lavender gets a lot of press, frankincense gets a lot of press, but rosemary oil is actually one of the most anti-inflammatory oils in the world. Also, it contains rosmaric acid, which has been shown to help specifically support your pancreas, balancing blood sugar levels. And also, it's the #1 essential oil to help naturally thicken your hair. Now, it thickens your hair for several reasons. One of the reasons, though, and actually another reason it actually can help lessen baldness or someone losing their hair, is it blocks a hormone in the body called DHT, that's dihydroxytestosterone. So this oil, you'll actually find it in a lot of shampoo products, but typically they're not using the real deal, pure organic rosemary essential oil. If you want to naturally thicken your hair, hey, about 5 to 10 drops of rosemary oil mixed with a little olive oil, rub it into your scalp. It's great for thickening your hair. But in addition to that, it's probably my #2 overall essential oil, #1 being holy basil, #2 being rosemary, for combating adrenal fatigue. Rosemary oil has also been used for improving memory and brain function. It's actually, again, in clinical studies, been shown to improve memory. So lots of benefits here with rosemary. And again, it can support energy by lowering those inflammation levels. Also supports brain health, alertness, memory I've mentioned. Best place to add this is, again, directly under the nose right there, and then taking about 3 to 5 drops, rubbing it right on the forehead as well. You can mix it with a coconut, a carrier oil like jojoba, or coconut oil or olive oil. I want to say, there's just a disclaimer here. Use minimally during pregnancy. And do not use if you're living with high blood pressure or epilepsy, because of how it can actually has naturally blood pressuring lowering effects. Now, if you do have high blood pressure, this is the ultimate essential oil to use for supporting healthy blood pressure levels. But again, just a few disclaimers there. A few other things here. Cinnamon bark. Cinnamon was used extensively in ancient Egypt. It's used throughout the world today, one of the most, probably top 5 consumed herbs in the world, and for a good reason. This is the #1 essential oil for balancing blood glucose levels or blood sugar. It's great for treating diabetes, and specifically with cinnamon, it contains a compound called cinnamaldehyde, which it balances something in your body called GTF, glucose tolerance factor, according to clinical studies. Now listen, a lot of people today suffering with adrenal fatigue and chronic fatigue syndrome, here's what happens. During the day, their insulin levels are jumping up and down. One of the keys to overcoming adrenal fatigue is keeping balanced insulin levels throughout the entire day. Cinnamon bark oil can help you do that. Now, this is an oil I recommend you diffuse it. So again, you can have a diffuser at your desk or at home. You're just sort of diffusing it all day, or using about 1 to 3 drops internally. You can mix it in a little bit of applesauce, add it to a smoothie in the morning. But again, doing 1 to 3 drops internally is about the equivalent to about 1/8 to 1/3 of a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. So lots of benefits here on using cinnamon oil here as well. I want to say this about cinnamon oil. You can use it directly on the skin, but you want to mix it with a carrier oil like coconut oil. It has really powerful antimicrobial and anti-candida benefits, but because it's so powerful antibacterially, it can actually cause skin irritation if it's used without a carrier oil there as well. Peppermint oil, probably the #2 selling protein, or the #2 selling essential oil in North America today. This essential oil is used primarily for digestive, to improve overall digestion. If you've got an upset stomach, if you have nausea, but also it's very cooling and energizing. It's probably the most energizing of all the essential oils. It contains a compound called menthol, which also has analgesic or pain relieving effects there as well. Again, I love doing peppermint oil, about 1 to 3 drops in a smoothie. In fact, if you add it with some chocolate protein powder to a breakfast smoothie and a few drops, you get like a chocolate mint smoothie. My wife Chelsea makes at-home peppermint patties with this. She uses like 4 ingredients in the recipe: dark chocolate, coconut oil, honey, and pure organic peppermint oil. And these are naturally energy boosting, great for chronic fatigue syndrome here as well. And again, just a note here on safety, may interact with some medications. It is very, very rare, but if you are on medications and you want to run it by your general practitioner, you can ask them about any interactions with menthol, or just do a Google search for menthol medicine interactions, and you'll find information on there as well. Ginger oil, I mentioned rosemary oil being an unsung hero. I think ginger is as well. 20 years ago, ginger oil or ginger in general was really popular. It lost some of its steam, but you're going to see it coming back as one of the most popular herbs and essential oils today. This is one of the chief remedies used in traditional Chinese medicine. It's warming, it improves digestion, it's anti-inflammatory all around. Up there with something like frankincense oil. It's probably one of the most well-rounded beneficial oils in the world today. So because of its anti-inflammatory benefits, and because of its benefits of really helping support overall digestion, this is a really powerhouse oil. It contains 2 compounds, gingerols and gingerbean. If you ever do a ginger shot and you feel that bite it has, in the aftertaste, that's gingerbean, which also helps break down inflammatory proteins in your body. So this is great for digestion, reducing inflammation. Adding just a single drop to food, again, a little bit of applesauce or some herbal tea is a great way to get ginger in your diet. Of course, just diffusing it is beneficial as well. Again, if you're going to use it on the skin, dilute it with a little bit of a carrier oil. I typically recommend about 5 drops of an oil to a half a teaspoon of a carrier oil is a pretty good ratio of using essential oil to carrier oil. So remember this. These 8 essential oils can really help support you in overcoming chronic fatigue syndrome. We talked about holy basil, probably number 1 on my list overall. Holy basil, also in Ayurveda, was called tulsi, or it was consumed as tulsi tea. Roman chamomile, lavender, ylang, rosemary, cinnamon bark, peppermint oil, and ginger. A few other notes here. Oftentimes, nutritional deficiencies can cause chronic fatigue syndrome. And in working with thousands of patients over the year and reading blood work, the most common nutritional deficiencies are B vitamins, specifically vitamin B12 and B5, also probiotics. Remember, you aren't what you eat, you are what you digest. If you're not digesting your nutrients, well, your body isn't able to fully utilize them. So again, B vitamins, probiotics, those are the most important nutrients for supporting your adrenals, your kidneys, and overcoming chronic fatigue syndrome. Hey, if you're not subscribed here to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. I've got a lot of great videos coming out on herbs, essential oils, and teaching you how to use food as medicine. And if you want to learn more on how to overcome any condition you can imagine, from chronic fatigue to adrenal issues to hormone imbalance, just Google search my name, Dr. Axe, chronic fatigue. You'll find more information on my website, draxe.com. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this video on the best essential oils for overcoming chronic fatigue syndrome. Hi, Dr. Axe here. I want to say thanks so much for checking out this YouTube video, and also don't forget to subscribe if you want to get more great content on things like herbs, essential oils, natural remedies, and how to use food as medicine. Also, check out more of our content on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.